Welcome, beloved Sangha, to the Jewel Ornament of Liberation series with our Venerable Khenpo Tenzin. We'll begin today in the Yellow Garchen Buddhist Institute prayer book, page 4 and 5, with opening prayers. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Damgwe tu je je re zon ro jin je ma do du je bon jong ba zer je long bo da bra ji be go shak je be je dong go zan zar dor jen jan je de lo na ro ma ba ma lo ji je gong bo ba ba mo je ba ja wan ro gong ba ka ju la ma nan je da jo je da nan da na zara dam je da la ma la ba la ye je zo zo Labzon yon din jia zhuang a la wan din zhe dong jian zhe be ge le zor da ge lo ju zan zhe wa ra xin jie lab du sor ju lam dan zhe wa ra xin jie lab du lam zhe wa ze wa ra xin jie lab du zor zhe wa ye ji zan jie wa ra xin jie lab du zor gang ge din jian zhe wa ren jiong ga ba me ba jie me ba jie ba me ba da me Wa mi ban zhuo me ba da de du me dun jie me zhi ba nie xie xie dun ba zuo ba san jie ma nan jie dan ba de la xiang zar du zhen jian za wa la ma ji jie gu zong du jie xin lam da 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 ge ju lam be de da ge den ba dang sun jie jie dong la bo jian zhe ba xin jie la du zo. Dear Dharma brothers and sisters, many Tashidele. Tashidele means may you have good health and happy mind, healthy body and happy mind. We all need happy mind. We are Dharma practitioners, but we of course our main purpose is to attain Buddhahood. This is last time in the samsara, and then next life we should attain Buddhahood. Next life or in this life, end of this life, we should attain Buddhahood. At the same time, actually we said the samsara is ocean of samsara, but we try to stay happily in this samsara. We can. How should we stay happily is that we practice loving kindness. In the relative form, loving kindness is the best cause of happiness. And then we should meditate on the ultimate bodhicitta. Ultimate bodhicitta or altruistic mind. They are same. Actually, ultimate bodhicitta is a related view, a perfect view. Loving kindness is related over conduct or behavior. If we are not separating from these two conducts, then we can be happy in the samsara, and also, of course, we can attain Buddhahood. These two kinds of bodhicitta are extremely important and necessary in our life. The reason first relative bodhicitta and these other facilities are big different. If we have a new car or new phone or new laptop, then we need another. And at the same time, if that new phone happens, it happens something, then suffering occurs from it. But bodhicitta, in the relative bodhicitta, is if we generate bodhicitta for 5 minutes, we are happy. If we cultivate bodhicitta for 1 month, we can be happy for 1 month. So this relative bodhicitta or loving kindness never becomes the cause of suffering. If we have good health and wealth, but if we do not have loving kindness in our mind cannot be happy. If we have no more these material facilities, if we have a bodhicitta in our mind, then our life is a happy life. Then also we all have a great aim that we attain Buddhahood. So if we are going to become enlightened, then view is very important. A perfect view is very important. Perfect view or ultimate bodhicitta are same. So without ultimate bodhicitta, without again ultimate bodhicitta, then we will not able to become Buddhahood. So other facilities, good health and wealth and so forth, perhaps they will become cause of ultimate bodhicitta, but not sure. Because some have good health. Through this way, they forget karma cause and karma cause and effect, and then they do lots of mistakes. Some have good wealth. It's same. It possible they use in the use it mistakenly. So if we have that's where we're not sure it will become cause of enlightenment. But some have good health and then they practice more, and some have a good wealth. They cultivate great merit through those wealth, and then of course those health and wealth are cause of enlightenment. But however, if we have bodhicitta in our mind, even you cultivate bodhicitta for 1 minute, it is cause of enlightenment. It is cause of attaining Buddhahood. So we don't want to buy bodhicitta from somewhere. And we don't need to more effort to cultivate bodhicitta. Because this is the quality of bodhicitta, so we easily can practice it. There is no need to learn more how to cultivate bodhicitta. Only thing is that right now many people don't understand that bodhicitta makes happy oneself. For example, my bodhicitta makes happy my mind. That I don't know. That maybe you don't know. Perhaps you think you know, I think I know, but we don't know it confidently, decisively, clearly. That's where it's hard to cultivate bodhicitta. So if we need a happy life, we should cultivate bodhicitta, relative bodhicitta, or loving kindness. This is very easy to practice, and it has great benefit. That's always hold in the hands of mindfulness. And then ultimate bodhicitta means actually the natural state of mind. So our mind not coming and not going. So that's where our mind is Avalokiteshvara. So our mind is Aryatara. So our mind is the Dharmakaya. So our mind is the Vajradhara. So our mind is the Samedabhadara, Kunduzangpo. Kunduzangpo in Tibetan, Kundu means it's time. Kundu means always. Zangpo means excellent. So our natural state of mind is always perfect. If you focused Buddha's life story, even Buddha was Siddhartha. I mean, Siddhartha was a princess. So he has a very special facilities. Those facilities could not give him happiness. And also he went to the forest and he undertaking hardship. for a long time, many years. But still he did not get the answer how to be happy. I mean, he did not know birthless and deathless. Then eventually he noticed his paramodular wisdom helps him to recognize birthless and deathless. So then he started to undertaking hardship to practice on there, and then he got it. So right now we say Vajradhara. Vajra means actually beyond impermanence. So the reason is birthless. If there is a birth, then there is death. If there is a death, there is suffering. So we all experience, we forget about the suffering of birth. We forgot, then we thought that there is no suffering of birth. And we are not yet experienced the suffering of death. So we don't have, how to say, this, that's why we are a little bit lazy, and we are just wondering with different things. Of course, we are a human being, so we need to eat, we need to drink, we need to wear clothes, and we need a house, we need a car, and we need mobile phones and so forth. But they will, if we have all of them, they can make happy or not. It is related your wisdom. If you utilize your wisdom, I mean spiritual wisdom, and then all of these facilities can be cause of enlightened mind. And all of these facilities can benefit to you in this life. Of course, next life. But it's not only you, it benefits a lot of people and other animals. So nowadays, some great people, they help other people through their wealth. They help to other animals. So this kind of wisdom, this wisdom is actually their part of their paramodular wisdom. So we always need to know two bodhicittas, ultimate bodhicitta and relative bodhicittas. Even when we practice Dharma, we should apply them. When we eating, talking, working, sitting, always we try to apply them. So first, if we cannot think, oh, these practices are for others, so I'm going to practice. If we have like this thinking, this motivation, it's wonderful. But if we don't have that motivation, we should know relative bodhicitta benefit to you and ultimate bodhicitta benefits to you. That we always need to know. This is generally how we have to understand and how to practice. And then this jewel ornament teaching, it mentions about the Buddha nature. At the same time, it's mentioned about the Holy Guru's path instructions. So in these path instructions has 4 thoughts and so forth. Among them, defeat the samsara, defect of samsara. So why this Gampopa emphasized? Why did he emphasize to us about this, like 4 thoughts or defects of samsara? Because we are beings of desire realm. So we have a very strong desire for or in this samsara. We have strong desire in this samsara. So if we cannot purify this desire, then we cannot liberate. Liberate means we cannot separate from this samsara. So if we are going to separate from this samsara, then we should practice on defects of samsara. So that's where Gampopa and all these masters, those masters emphasized. And Buddha himself did. Actually, it's 3 countless Buddha Shakyamuni accumulate merit 3 countless eons. Okay, it's probably unfathomable, but only we'll focus on in his life. He practiced these 4 thoughts where in his kingdom. So when we focus about the Shakyamuni Buddha's life story, it's really in his kingdom has full of sorrow, suffering, because they are going to fight other kings. Why? Because other kings jealous to them or start to destroy them. That's where his father king has to fight for other kings. And inside of this kingdom has lots of jealous people. So they also destroyed like laws. So Buddha practiced 4 thoughts in his kingdom, and then eventually he recognized the natural state of mind through his meditation. So suddenly we say, oh, samsara is the ocean of suffering. We cannot believe. But we think carefully why we don't believe. We cannot believe it. We do not focus inside. We always thought samsara is somewhere. We focus on towards others. Or they have money, they have power, they are handsome, they are beautiful, they have lots of wonderful things. So the samsara is not ocean of suffering. We think like that. You also have. You have lots of wonderful things, and then you turn in your mind inside what is happening. How much you have good things, you have more suffering, more problems. If you have some good things and then you are worried about that, perhaps it were burned by fire, perhaps it was still by some thieves, perhaps it will become old, or so forth. Lots of sufferings with these things. Same like others. When we focus on others, it seems they are happy or nice, everything's very good, but there are lots of problems. They have lots of problems. So samsara means actually cyclic existing. So cyclic existing like a gala and a mala. So samsara is in our mind. And now I say, actually, it's Tiloba said, samsara and nirvana are same. When you recognize some essence of samsara, then this is nirvana. If I say directly that, maybe quite hard to understand that. If you understand, but this understanding will not remain with you for longer. Because our mind is like water. In summertime, it will melt. It melts, but when winter, it becomes frozen. It becomes frozen again. Same like when say, oh, your natural state of mind and what to say? Sorry, samsara and nirvana are same. You said, oh, they are same. That's actually wonderful. But you cannot keep this realization for longer when the storms of angry emotion arises, when storms of jealousy emotion arises, and self-grasping and those afflictive emotions arise from your mind, and then you become ordinary being. You become ordinary being again. So that's also in the Buddha said that when Buddha told to his gurus, when I meditate, I recognize birthless and deathless, everything perfect. And then after I stopped my meditation, and I have again my mind is full of sorrow. I have lots of suffering. What is that? And then some gurus said, they are honest, I cannot answer. No, I am stuck there. So no, you search another guru. They said it. Some guru says, then, oh, there's nothing. And then, however, they are wonderful gurus. They're wonderfully supported to Buddha, and Buddha himself has some wonderful paramodur wisdom. I mean, actually, Buddha's paramodur wisdom and our paramodur wisdom are same. There are no difference. But Buddha purifies more his ignorance and imprinting of self-grasping. So his wisdom is more clear than our wisdom. I mean, before he become enlightened. Right now, of course. So we have really confidence that we are, sooner or later, we will become enlightened. Ourselves just stay in samsara. Only that. So holy gurus, wonderful gurus, they compassionately, they give us path instruction. They give us path instructions always, or they give us always during the teaching, of course, but in generally they talks us aloud, especially then they leave their path their path instructions in the wonderful books. So we focus there, and especially we try to turn our mind inside, not always focus outside. So we should liberate from the ocean of samsara. This I'm already mentioned that cyclic exists. Cyclic exists means from ignorance, and then last is death. Yeah, after death, again rebirth. So in these 6 realms, we cyclic exist. So then at that time we have lots of sorrow, lots of sufferings. So now you think carefully by yourself that you have Buddha nature. That Buddha nature is does not occurs to you just recently. This Buddha nature is since beginningless time that Buddha nature exists in your mind. And then that's we call ultimate bodhicitta. And then this temporary sufferings, the ignorance or temporary afflictive emotions occur to you, and then it's pretty easy to. So you should keep going. You're practicing continuously. So how to keep going your practice? How to keep your practice continuously is if you sit on the one cushion and close your eyes and unmovingly stay. It's quite hard to stay longer like this way. But then more think about the suffering of birth and death, and then you understand them, then you can generate compassion. When you generate compassion, and it benefits to others. Other beings are like plants of trees and flowers, so forth. So your compassion is like the sun. Your wisdom is like the sun's light. So sunrise, it benefits many plants, many trees. And then your bodhicitta is like water. So these plants need water and the sun's warmth and so forth. So then they will grow and then blossom beautiful flowers. So then how much you can benefit to others, it benefit to yourself. Okay, then today we are going to page number 73. The sufferings of death are also countless. Why the sufferings of death are also countless? Because we remain in this samsara since beginningless. That means if we try to count it, we cannot count. How many times we took life of pigs? How many times we took lives of rabbits? How many times we took lives of fish? So we cannot count it. That's why we say since beginningless we are in the samsara. And then actually some ask that the sentient beings are early or Buddha is early. So Buddha is early because our Buddha nature is exist in our mind naturally. Like this empty space, the empty space is always exist there. It did not come, not go. It does not come and it does not go. But then these plants, like planets, they occurs one by one. So sometimes it is like if we turn in our mind, when we look at our nature state of mind, and then it is beyond the coming and going. Our nature state of mind is beyond the coming and going. But then we, how to say, we act with the afflictive emotions. At that time, we don't know this nature state of mind doesn't coming and going. then we are always busy with attachment and aversion. But then some guru gave us some path instructions. At that time, we carefully think in our think about the natural state of mind. At that time, our mind is relaxed, tranquility, and we can gain some bodhicitta and compassion and so forth. And after hours later or days later or weeks later, again we become ordinary beings. So that's where these afflictive emotions or defilements occurs temporarily, but they occur very often. Fundamentally, they are not exist. That's why they comes and go. So afflictive emotions come and go. Buddha nature is beyond the coming and going. It says of them in the advice to King Sutara, a great king, someone tormented like this on the tortuous speck of death is no longer so arrogant. Protectors, allies, or friends help you no more, stricken by disease. The mouth is thirsty, the face changes, the limbs give way, you are unable to work, and you soil your body with saliva, snot, urine, and disgusting vomit. And you also wheeze noisily. The doctors abandon hope, and you sleep on your bed for the last time, sinking into the stream of samsara and becoming frightened of the Lord of Death's emissaries. The breathing stops. The mouth and nostrils gape. You leave this world behind and head for the next. It is the great departure, the inherence into deepest darkness, the fall over the greatest precipice, and the mighty ocean sweeping you away, borne away by the winds of karma. You go to the place of no settling, and this without being able to take one iota of your possessions. Though you cry out, "O mother, O father, O my children," there is at that time great king, no other protector, no other refuge, no other ally than Dharma. So how many kings occur in this world? Right now we mentioned about a king. Always we can imagine it's the story of past. Right now just a few king lineage or system remain in this world. Majority king systems disappear from this world. They almost disappear from our mind. They are Chakravarti kings. They are very powerful kings. But they are gone. So Buddha always mentioned Four Noble Truths. There are lots of truth. Buddha says truth. So which means Buddha mentioned reality. So it's really happened. If that happened to kings, then of course to us. Right now we are aliving, yeah, alive, yeah. So then right now I called it Buddha's Sutara. We're not sure when it will occur. There are lots of obstacles to live alive, to life, yeah. So and then when death is coming, we say, oh, father or mother or children, they love to protect us. They try to help us, of course, but they cannot. As the 37 way of Bodhisattva, practices of Bodhisattva, it says, mundane gods, they themselves are in the samsara, so they cannot liberate us from the samsara. It's like if the two people, they both take away by the big river, and they cannot protect each others because they both take away. Same like all father or mother or friends or children, they are also did not liberate from their death, do not liberate from death. That's why they cannot protect us. So then it says, then Dharma, no other ally, no other refuge, no other ally than Dharma. Then it says, Dharma may help us. Yeah? How to Dharma help us? You call of father or mother, but they do not come with you in the bardo. But Dharma comes with you in the bardo. So that's where Dharma help. It mentioned that is how Dharma helps us. Then how to help us helps us. For example, if you are very scared about in the night, in the darkness, yeah, and you are very scared about snakes and so forth, some other bugs, so you are alone in an empty place, in the very darkness night, and then you have no flashlight, you have no mobile phones. If you are going to stand up there, you scared the ghost and something else. If you try to walk on the road, there are lots of snakes and other bugs. What is your experience? What will you feel? So Bardo beings has lots of fear. Right now our fears are baby. Then Bardo's beings fear. So that's why how Dharma does help. How Dharma does help in the Bardo is in the our smoke offering. It says Bardo la Bardo imbangoshi. That means during the Bardo, they notice this is Bardo. How did they notice that Bardo is Bardo? Because of Dharma practice. Otherwise, our parents call us, oh, this is a Bardo. Don't be or don't fear. Don't be scared. If they call out loud, they went to top of a mountain and they call us, it does not help. But when we are alive, now we practice, then during the bardo, then we understand, oh, this is bardo. And then bardo means illusory, form of illusory. So we recognize that. So the Dharma helps. And also, spatial help is not only just understand bardo is bardo. In the bardo, we understand what is the right way and what is the wrong way, wrong path. What is the right path and what is the wrong path. Wrong path means, for example, in the bardo, then there are lots of scary things, and then try to run away from there. This is nature, yeah. If something scary things occur, we try to remove from there or run away from there. Same thing. We have this habituation, or we have this imprint, and then if yidams, especially wrathful yidam deities, appear, we could not understand these. They are the real protectors. We cannot understand they are the form of compassion and bodhicitta and wisdom. But then we think there's some smooth or some little peaceful area we try to find, and we try to go there, and then that is the wrong path. So that's our ignorance. For example, right now, there are some alcoholic, some young teenagers went with the alcoholic people, and then they don't know if they become alcoholic, it is not good, but they don't know. They thought, oh, alcohol is very interesting or very nice, and then they do it, and then they become alcoholic people. See, so then it's damage in organs and so forth. And then so death, still some death, and they some guru come to them and pray and do pause and other practices and introduce about bardos. So then it greatly helped them. But some accidentally die, so they don't have time to listen the guru's path instructions, and they don't have time to listen the prayers, meaning of prayers, and so forth. And then also they have lots of suffering. Otherwise, we think if suddenly it's turn off the candle light, then we do not have a death of suffering. This is misunderstood. In the 49 days, if you die death by car accident, for example, okay, first you suddenly become unconscious. Suddenly becomes unconsciousness, but every week until 49 days, every week, same experience. If they don't have a practice dharma, something like that. I don't mean all of the beings they have happen same thing. I don't mean, because different people has different karmas. Some accidentally car, or some accidentally killed or died, but then due to another karma, cause of another good karma, they will rebirth in the God's realm and so forth, or some pure land and so forth. It's a very possible, but it's in the majority they have not this opportunity. I mean, actually, it is depending one's karma. Yeah. So, however, death is not pleasant. Death is really not pleasant. If you like very much your possessions, for example, right now, maybe you like your clothes, you love your friends, you love your some other things, but when death comes, you will separate from there, and then it is happy, or pleasant or unpleasant. I often say that if you have a great dharma in your mind, and then death is not bad. Okay, but it's when you are the death process coming. When comes the death process, at that time you feel suffering, but then next life is not always sorrow. Perhaps you will take rebirth in the Pure Land, so it is not bad. However, if you do not recognize deathless, then death is suffering. Death is countless of suffering. If you recognize the death, and then death is not suffering. As Lord Jigten Sungku said, this life and next life and the bardo are same. When one recognizes the same, then there is no suffering. There is no suffering. So now you can understand by yourself you are on this level or not. And then there is the suffering of being separated from loved ones. When father, mother, children, or friends die, there is immeasurable suffering in the form of misery, grief, weeping, wailing, and the like. Yeah. When you separate from loved ones, you start to cry. So that means if your friend went to some other country or some other place, and you are cry and at that time, but still you can see again your friend. Yeah, you can meet again with your loved ones. But as it says, the death is the great departure. So that means if your loved one death, and then you cannot see again, you cannot hear again. So the samsara is like that. Samsara means don't understand the nature state of mind. Then all these sufferings are there. So always when you listen Dharma, you practice Dharma, don't always focus outside. Don't follow this eyes consciousness, ear consciousness, and so forth. Always looking inside. What happens really? This is how we should practice actually. There are many ways of practices. All of these practices should be bring into our mind. Because we are followers of Shakyamuni Buddha, he did that. He liberated through this way. Whether he could liberate it or not, we are follower of Shakyamuni Buddha. We have no choice. We should we should practice what he did. If we say, "Oh, I'm good. I don't want to follow Shakyamuni Buddha's Dharma," then we have freedom. I don't mean if you don't follow Shakyamuni Buddha's is so bad or something like that. I never said that. Nobody says like that. But now we say, "Oh, this is Shakyamuni. We are Dharma practitioners." So if we are Dharma practitioners, Shakyamuni, what did by Shakyamuni Buddha, we should do same thing. What did he do? We should do same thing means he turned his mind inside, and he recognized the natural state of mind, and he understood samsara is in his mind. and nirvana is in his mind. He tried to understand that and he understood it. He did not say kingdom, you should remove kingdom. He did not say that, yeah? So he always said that we should remain peacefully and everything's in mind. So we also try to understand samsara is in our mind, nirvana is in our mind. Samsara has countless sufferings, they all in our mind. Nirvana has countless of pleasant, countless good qualities, they are in our mind. So bodhicitta is a represent of pleasant. Compassion is a representative how to say the qualities of nirvana. Then anger, hatred, and ignorance, they are the qualities of samsara. So which way will we prefer? This is in our hand. And then it says, the suffering of encountering the unwanted is distress of conflict that occurs when meeting hated enemies. See, through only this sentence, it makes sense. Meeting hated enemies. So which means enemies and friends is related our mind, yeah? When you are angry to someone, they are your enemies. When you love to someone, they are your friends. So in the Mahayana practice, we say all mother thinking beings. Then we think, how can be all beings are our mother? Great bodhicittas, they thought all beings are our mother because compassion occurs from them. These mother beings, they identified they are mothers. That's what they are. In my perfect teacher, it says one old woman fed in dog's tooth. So the relics occur from there. Same thing is then there are many sufferings such as arguments, physical conflict, and so forth. The last two types of suffering, the strife of obtaining and the difficult of maintaining, are self-evident. It often occurs to us. If we be honest, gently close our eyes and think, it really occurs in an hour. Each and every hour it occurs. For me, I'm going to learn English. I'm going to become I'm perfect English speaker or speaker. But it's so hard. Learning day by day, something like I'm going to remove my forgetting. I'm going to remove my ignorance, but those ignorance occur continuously. They're non-stop. Even I sleep in my bed, still the ignorance occurs. So then same thing, and in the physically there are lots of things, and then related our attachment, then we have lots of these things. So okay, now this part what happened in our human realm, and then demigods. Besides having suffering asking to that of the gods, the demigods also suffer from pride, jealousy, fighting, and quarreling. Demigods' realm is a form of jealousy, so they have lots of suffering. Actually, in some story says the sun and the moon, the king of demigods found, and nectar. Right now we say nectar. That nectar found by demigods, king of demigods, from the ocean. He checked the ocean. He got, but he could not utilize it because the king used it. So only this way they have like this suffering. Right now we have some beautiful like a mala. I have mala. If somebody took this, and then I will unhappy. Yeah. So the nectar is very important. It's related to longevity. So that's where king of demigods, he checked the ocean. It mentioned the Nagarjuna about there are many stories. And then one time, king of demigods, he checked the ocean. First he found the sun and it gone in the space. And then he found the moon, it also gone on the space. And last, he found the nectar in the ocean. And then he started to take it because they are going to fight gods. That's where they need longevity. They know the quality of nectar. That's where they started to take nectar, amrita, and then God's manifestation, beautiful goddess came there, and she said, "I will share it for you. Oh, Master King, you hard work to get it, so got it. So now you got it. So it is my time to share, offer you." And then he said, "Yeah, of course." And he gave it to the demigod, this beautiful goddess, and then she is a manifestation, yeah, of a king of gods. So then she took away. She took away in the gods realm, and then in the gods realm, then gods start to share these goddesses and goddesses and himself. And then demigods went there, and he got a very very small part, small amrita. But then king understood that, and then the king of the demigods fought with the sun and the moon, and then they cut his neck. And then he said that, "May I can eat you when full moon or sometime." So that's where it's a moon's clip, the sun's clip. It occurs that actually it says like that. Whether this story is real, true or not, but the demigods, they have a lot of suffering because of jealousy. So we can experience ourselves when jealousy arises in our mind. We cannot be happy. Yeah. So we have suffering. We are not headache. Our stomach is fun. We are not hungry, not thirsty. But jealousy arises from our mind, and unhappiness of our mind is filled to the brim by suffering. So then demigods, they have lots of jealousies. It says demigods endure great mental tormented because they are by their very nature resentful of the gods, splendors, and enjoyments. It mentioned briefly about the sufferings of demigods and then gods. Gods of the desire realm suffer through having to fight off the demigods, through dissatisfaction due to their endless desires, and through losing their self-confidence. They also suffer by their limbs being severed and parts of their bodies being amputated. input at it by being killed or expelled, and at the end of their lives, they suffer through death, losing their divine status and going to another existence. So gods, now if we try to go to the gods realm and teach Dharma, they cannot listen Dharma. Because in the Dharma, it mentioned lots of sufferings, yeah? It explains lots of sufferings and so forth. They cannot listen. Not only gods realms, some in young generations, they have they did not experience sufferings. So if we try to explain them something, it's quite hard to make sense. But some have a special wisdom. They have less. Their mind does not cover by thick ignorance, and then they automatically love to practice Dharma and so forth. We have lots of that, brothers and young brothers and young sisters, and some they have lots of facing problems and they noticed it. So actually, we don't try to make suffer them, suffer them, but we introduce about the nature of samsara, yeah? And then they gain the renunciation of samsara, and then they start to practice like Gampopa. Gampopa, he himself, first he was a doctor. Of course, or everywhere I think doctors have good facilities, and people respect them. And and then especially in ancient in Tibet, when Gampopa was a doctor at that time, everybody needs him. So everybody respected him, and he became very, very famous. If I don't mention about his long life stories, yeah, in only in his life, and then he was doctor, but his wife got a sick, kind of a leprosy. She got very serious sick, and then his children died. So he has lots of these sufferings. So then he experienced these sufferings, and then he gained very, very special renunciation of samsara, and then he started to practice and doing retreat. Started to do retreat, and then he followed many masters, especially Milarepa, and then he liberated from samsara. So renunciation is very important. So in Gao's realm, these gods are desire realms gods, okay? So they have the goddesses are beautiful, gods are handsome, and of course they have healthy life. Especially their environments are like a beautiful gardens. They have no problem about the weather conditions. They have no obstacles, but they have few obstacles, few sufferings. What are them? They are going to fight demigods. If they don't want to fight demigods, the demigods, they are always jealousy to them. jealous to them, so they start to fight it. And then slowly, as this text mentions that their beautiful garland flowers become old. So, however, there are lots of signs that they have lots of sufferings. So they have more, almost they have more suffering than the humans. I mean, their sufferings are very strong. It's like, okay, so it is said, when death comes, divine child, 5 signs will appear. Your clothes start to smell bad. Flower garlands wither. Your 2 arms pets begin to sweat. Foul smells arise from your body, and you begin to find sits uncomfortable. Your 2 arms pets begin to sweat. Is it very suffering or not? Now we cannot feel that it's a very strong suffering, but they are, because they don't have this problem. The example is like, if you don't have any problem, you have a small problem. That problem is, you feel that problem is a very big problem. But someone has lots of problems, so some problems are not so big. For example, His Eminence Garjin Rinpoche, they went to the prison, so they say in the prison they happily remained there. They remained there happily. So now if we hear about the prison, it's very scared location, like that. Experience is very important. And then gods of the form and formless dimensions do not have the above mentioned sufferings. Okay, this is form and formless are again not including desire gods. So, however, since they die, transmigrate, and do not have the power to remain in their state, they suffer through having to take birth in a lower state. Even they remain in samadhi, like infinite space. So if they have little distractions of this meditation, they have big problems, sufferings. And then likewise, once the good karma of humans or gods of any level is exhausted, they have to fall into state of suffering. Therefore, the whole condition of samsara, the very nature of which is suffering, is like that of a house ablights. 2 courts, nandas abiding in the womb. Woe and alas, because this immensity of self perpetuating existence is ablaze, completely flaming, really burning, totally blazing. Not even a few remain undefeated by it. What is this raging inferno? It is the fire of aggression, passion, and stupidity, the fire of birth, gain, and death, the fire of sorrow, lamentation, mental unhappiness, and unrest, because the fires are consistently raging and blazing. no one escaped them. So actually, when Buddha was alive, the kings thought that, oh, now we are king, we have a superpower. Yeah. After we dead, we will take rebirth in God's realm. God's realm is beyond the suffering. That's what they thought. Okay, we don't want to mention about God's realm, how about God's realm? But they thought, now we are king, we have superpower. They have this identification, but 24/7 they have no happiness. We can learn from Buddha's father king. What is that? First, Buddha's father has lots of suffering because he has no son. He has no child. So he started to worry. He married with a few queens. Yeah. And eventually he had a son, but his wife or his queen passed away. He was suffering. And then the son grew. At the same time, many kind of wars occur in the different countries. So he has lots of suffering, and then his expectation is only focus in these mundane activities. He focuses only mundane activities. So then there are lots of competitions, lots of sufferings, and there are lots of these. Oh no, we have superpower, and after we died, we were rebirthed in the God's realm. These are dead. They were becoming daydreams. So not occur exactly. It is said. Where is? Okay. Knowing the sufferings of samsara to be just like that will in itself turn the mind away from the pleasures of worldly existence. To quote the scriptures, the meeting of Father and Son Sutara states. Okay. Recognizing the sufferings of samsara turn weariness with it will arise, and fear of its three realms will stimulate a diligent abandoning of it. The great teacher Nagarjuna has also said in a similar vein, since samsara is like that, there is no good birth. As a god, a human, a hell being, a hungry spirit, or as in animal, so no rebirth to be a vessel for many harms. So now this another way we say we have a precious human life. So this is also, we can say we experience some sufferings. So this through this way we can say this is a precious human life. The reason we experience these sufferings, and then we remember Dharma. Then we start to love Dharma. So many Dharma practitioners, among the Dharma practitioners, there are different layers. The most of Dharma, of course, there are different layers about their experiences and their practices, but many Dharma practitioners, they come to practice Dharma for the sake of happiness. For the sake of happiness of other beings and for the sake of happiness themselves. So they have two kind of wisdoms. They see through Dharma practice it benefits oneself and also it benefits others. So most of our Dharma practitioners experience the suffering of great departure as families, about death, or lose someone's possessions, or separated with the loved ones, or there are lots of situations. Then we become Dharma practitioners. So that is good. How you come to practice Dharma. You have some problems, suffering through this way. You come to Dharma practice. It's good. Because Shakyamuni Buddha, he also greatly experienced suffering, and then he started to meditate and practice. Yeah. So that's where right now our human life, if 24/7 we do not have suffering, then we don't remember Dharma practice. So in other hand, we have suffering problems, and then we learn and experience them, and then we start to practice Dharma. And on the other hand, Dharma practitioners recognize that we all have Buddha. Recognize, I don't know, some recognize, but the majority of Dharma friends, they believe in nature state of mind or Buddha nature. That's where you start to meditate and start to practice. Yeah. So that's where this precious human life means these two sides. You have you experience some suffering. But the gods, they experience suffering, but that was too late because they don't have spiritual masters. They do not have spiritual masters, and they do not exist the Dharma. They do not exist the path of Dharma instructions. And their mind is completely drawn by suffering. So now we are like the sun, and it goes travel through the clouds. Sometimes we have suffering, sometimes we have temporary happiness. So through this way, we can generate renunciation in samsara, and then we make effort to practice Dharma. So that's where we have a precious human life through this way. And other hand, we have special wisdom. This is a paramoja wisdom or spiritual wisdom, and we generate bodhicitta for the sake of all mother sentient beings. So we can generate immeasurable compassion, immeasurable loving kindness, and bodhicitta. So we have a precious human life. And in the sutta, in the Vajrayana, then we have also physically the five aggregates, and then inner wisdom and wisdom winds, wisdom channels, and wisdom drops. So through this way we have a special. So we can say we have a precious human life. This was the 5th chapter, explained the sufferings of samsara. From this ornament of precious liberation, a wish-fulfilling gem of sublime Dharma. Okay, so now we talked a lot about the suffering of samsara. So now how to practice? This is very important, yeah? How to practice with this? You don't want to focus there 24/7 about this suffering of samsara. Even you often hear that is not so interesting, probably. But this is, you should apply them for your practicing. How to practice is, If you remain in the non-duality, you meditate, you at ease on the non-duality, you do not apply this suffering of samsaras, sufferings of samsara. But when you should apply them is, you become laziness. At that time, you are going to apply them. There are 3 categories of laziness, yeah? Number 1, I can't do. I can't do. You feel this, when you feel like that, at that time you focus about this samsara. Oh, no, I have precious human life. Lower realms, 3 lower realms are not so far from us. Because we count day, hours, days, weeks, and years. Which years is end of our life? We're not sure. Which month will be end of our life? We're not sure. When we will die, we don't know. Yeah. At the same time, in it mentioned Buddha nature, so we gain this realization, and then at that time we should remember. Now I'm in the human realm. Human realm is like a middle. I mean, it's not like a gods and demigods. They have more pleasure, happy than us until end of their life, especially gods realm. Yeah. But if we take rebirth in the hell realm and the hunger god realm and animal realm, 24/7 busy with what? Suffering, especially in the hell realm and hungry. Hungry spirits, they are 24/7 thirsty and hungry. Their attention is completely draw through this way. So they don't have time to practice Dharma. Another one is the laziness is, another laziness is like, oh, Dharma practice and another things important. To travel is important than the meditation. I'm going to travel to different places, different countries, and then I will. I can meditate sometimes. You have feel like that, and then you learn, especially impermanence and so forth. Especially when you of course, to travel, these things are important. I mean, I don't mean you have to stop to travel. You can practice with traveling, but we have big responsibility because we are Mahayana practitioners. Mahayana practitioners' responsibility is a benefit to others. So our mother thinking beings, 24/7, they are suffering, especially hell beings. They are also our mother beings. So we are going to help them. So suddenly we think, oh, the hell beings are suffering in 24/7. They are our mothers. We cannot think like that. So that's why we have to focus on this defect of samsara and impermanence and so forth. And then another laziness is, okay, I really need to practice. I really need to do retreat. But today I will not. I will do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow I think, oh, it's next week. I definitely. And next week, I think next month, next year, another year. So it goes like this way. So at that time, think about this. So in the ancient masters, they do retreat in the cave, in very solid place, solitary places. They apply these these 4 thoughts, the defect of samsara. Otherwise, they stay in the mountain and they meditate. And they remember, oh, today I'm going to the town, yeah? I just enjoy with my friends, eat nice food, and so forth. They like to come down in the town, so forth. But they practice, oh, I will not. I'm not sure tomorrow or my death, which one earlier. They thought like that. There are many stories. Some ancient master they did retreat in the cave. That just nearby the door has a throne, and when they come and go, the throne catch their robes. First, they thought he thought he has to cut it, but then he thought, oh, I'm not sure my death is coming or tomorrow early. I'm not sure, so I'm going to practice. So he thought like that, and he continuously practiced. So he become great Mahasiddha, but the throne just still remains. So it did not destroy it to him. So it is very really helpful. If you don't focus in Dharma, only you think, oh, samsara is suffering, it says, and then it's possible it's an unhealthy mind. I mean, unhappy. You heard lots of sufferings, but you cannot see the liberation. Yeah. So we have to see liberation and also the nature of samsara. Then it helps us to improve our practice. It's improve to practices means sometimes it improve your compassion. Am I true? You think by yourself, yeah? You concentrate. If you are remember these sufferings, even you remember the sufferings of animals, then you love more in animals. You take care more your pets. You don't keep your pets in the car in the very hot sun. So it's something like that. And then there are a lot of what to say benefit. Okay, then next is sixth, the karma and its effect. Yeah, this is a very, very important session or chapter. So this is a very important to know. Actually, this book mentioned very detailedly, or in details. So we can learn through this book. And generally, when you heard Dharma from Dharma teachers, what do you hear? You hear karma, Dharma, Lama. What else? So you heard that karma. So karma is action. I don't know. You feel that. How do you feel? For me, for a long time, actually, I feel samsara. When I heard samsara, it's kind of somewhere. I cannot feel samsara is in my mind. I don't mean right now I'm become very great practitioner, but the kindness of gurus, it's really it's really helpful. And then karma, or same thing. Before karma, always focus outside. Karma exists somewhere, but think carefully. Karma is in our mind or in our life. However, karma means action. Yeah. So action of mind, action of body, action of speech or verbal, what is it? Verbal. Thank you. Yeah. So then through the good karma, we experience happiness. Even we are in the samsara, but still we can experience happiness. Through the bad karma, even we are in the temple, and for me, I sit here. If I cultivated the bad karma, I mean, if I have negative motivation in my mind, still suffering, yeah, suffer. So that's where karma means that. And then this action, the past actions, present actions, and future actions. So in the past, we acted some good things. We acted wonderfully. So now we have a precious human life. And also we acted some negative acting or actions. So still we are in the samsara. So now we utilize our precious human life, and then we try to liberate from the samsara, ocean of samsara. Our precious human life is like a boat. Our spiritual masters are captains. And then we should samsara is like an ocean. So we should cross this ocean. We did hard work in previous lives. So now if we waste our precious human life, then it is our cultivation of merit are like a children's game. So we cultivated great merit for many lives. And now if we try to gain and try to attain Buddhahood, I think we all can do it. Because in this life, we, I think since we, since we birth until now, since we were born until now, I think we did not cultivate very serious non-virtues. For example, Malarepa, in his beginning of his life, in his life, he cultivated lots of non-virtues, but eventually he purified all of them. So our non-virtues are impermanent. This is the very important to know. Otherwise, many people thought that I cultivated lots of non-virtues, so now I am old. If I try to practice, it cannot purify it. I definitely will rebuild in the lower realms. So now, if I practice Dharma or not, it is same. Many people think like that. So this is a misunderstanding. Non-virtues are impermanent. So Dharma is like water. Then karma is like your hands. Non-virtues are like dirt on your dish, the plate or bowls. So you turn on the water. This is Dharma. And karma means you wash it Yeah. And then your balls will become clean. So only there is the water, there is your hand, there is the dirt, unclean or impure, unclean balls. These two things remain separately, then your balls is always unclean. You cannot use that for eating something. So now the water of Dharma flows to you in your room, in your mind. And then your hands of karma have to bring these unclean balls there, and then you start to wash. So no matter how thick our ignorance, it is impermanent. But you say it is impermanent, one day it will disappear. If you think like that, and if you don't try to purify it, then the one day is very far, very long. It takes so long. So you will recognize this. I will conclude about the fourth. I will tell you briefly about four thoughts. So this negative karmic imprints, they are impermanent. So you should be happy. Okay, now then you utilize the nectar of Dharma, and then you start to purify, clean the negative karma. Then your mind is naturally clean. So now we have to purify our negative karmas which cultivated in past lives or past life or years ago or hours ago. Whenever we cultivated negative karma, we should purify them. So only Dharma can purify them. How only Dharma purify them means? Dharma means method. Dharma has method. Dharma is method. So how to purify them? And then karma means you should act to purify them. So I give you proof. 1 hour ago, you are strongly angry to someone, and you use harsh word, yeah, and you become almost enemies. But after 1 hour later, you will regret, and you say sorry to that person, and then that person become your friend, becomes your friends, and then you have that enemy, angry emotion. They all, how to say, disappear like a water drop on the hot stone. There is a hot stone. If there is a hot stone and there drops some little water, immediately disappear. So that's where, if you can purify your angry emotion, which occurred an hour ago, then of course you can purify all of non-virtues. negative karmas. So we are going to, also we don't, as I mentioned, we do not have a thick ignorance or negative karma because we have precious human life. So we have to purify negative karmas. And then we have to act or cultivate virtuous. We already have virtuous. And then we accelerate these virtues and merit. And then we should prevent to cultivate negative karma. Negative karma cultivated by mind, verbal or speech, and body. And merit cultivated by mind, speech, and body. Among them, the mind is like a king. So all your speech come from your motivation. Because first you think, oh, this person is so bad. This motivation or this thinking is, or these thoughts come from your mind. And then this, your mind and the winds, they goes up area of your throat. Here another thoughts process. Your speech transform into harsh words. And then you start to talk it through your tongues and lips. You say that you use this harsh word, it makes unhappy other people. It makes unhappy other people, and other people replied same thing, like an echo. If you say good morning, that person will tell you good morning. If you say some negative word, that person replied same thing, or act some unhappiness action. Unhappiness or unhappy action. So then it affects to your mind. So we have to the mind is like a king, and then body. For example, we think, oh, now I'm going to walk, and then our legs has no freedom. It walks. And we think, now I'm going to sit down, and then our body has no freedom. Our body and mind follow our mind. So mind is, or motivation is very important. And then motivation through our mind, we apply mindfulness. Through mindfulness, we watch our action of body and speech. Sometimes good words, sometimes sweet words, or they also become harsh words. So that's why we have to carefully think, carefully watch our action of body and speech. We take care of karma, or we cultivate good karma, means always we watch the action of our body and speech. So always have to watch our body and speech means we should apply mindfulness. Otherwise we cannot watch always, yeah? So our Dharma practitioner, perhaps, I don't know, it's perhaps it is very uncomfortable for you, but honestly, in the Buddha's Vinaya teaching, it says how to eat. how to chew, how to swallow. It mentions in details. In detail. It doesn't make many rules on that. It's try to apply mindfulness. So always, especially if we say we are Mahayana practitioners, so we try to become Bodhisattvas. If we are going to become Bodhisattvas, we always we should benefit others through our body, mind, and speech. And we do not harm others through our body, speech, and mind. Yeah. So we should take care or be careful. So karma doesn't exist separately somewhere. Karma is our action of 3 doors: body, speech, and mind. So now we will travel. We will attain to Buddha's stage, or we continuously remains in this samsara. It is related to our karma. So karma means I mentioned that karma means our action. So this action, our actions good action or bad action, or acting. Action, good action or bad action is related to our mindfulness. So that's where mindful Mother Tara, please protect us. We always say that. Sometimes we blame the Tara. I always pray Tara, but she doesn't help. It means we don't generate mindfulness from our mind. So Tara is not somewhere, in our mind. His Eminence Garjin Rinpoche often said that our mindfulness is Tara. Tara is our mindfulness. So each and everybody's mind has Tara. Because everybody has mindfulness if you apply it. Mindfulness is extremely important. The reason is Shakyamuni Buddha, he started to meditate through mindfulness. And he gained some realizations like the kind of realizations of first bhumi or 5th or 6th bhumis. He still improved. His mindfulness improves through this way. And after he completely became enlightened, still he apply mindfulness. He apply mindfulness means he does not apply mindfulness through effort, but effortlessly he generate mindfulness. So we call equipoise meditation, and what is the other? Equipoise meditation and post meditation. This both related mindfulness. So if we are going to remain single-pointedly, it is related mindfulness. When we come back from this unmoved mind or single-pointed concentration, still related to mindfulness. So the best watchman is mindfulness. I mean, mindfulness and attentiveness, they are very much they have a special relation between them. So however, now we are talking about karma, yeah? So now if we are going to cultivate good karma, it is related our mindfulness. And attentiveness or mindfulness have to know is positive karma or negative karma, good karma or bad karma. Our wisdom have to know it. And then mindfulness continuously help it. So with one body, one life, we were able to attain Buddhahood because of the kindness of our spiritual masters, because of we already have a Buddha nature, because of kindness of Buddha Dharma, so we can attain Buddhahood with one life and with one body. Then our how to say but we will attain Buddhahood or not. It is in our hand. It is in our hand means it is related to our karma. So karma means I repeat again. The karma means action. So since from today, if you act good actions, and then if you will not cultivate negative actions, that means how you take care of karma. And then you listen the path instructions, and then practice purify negative karmas, and then there is no obstacles to attain Buddhahood. Then what I say is I have to do same thing with you. Okay, I don't mean I have a special realization and special knowledge and kind of superpower. Through this way I tell, it does not mean like that. I am ordinary being, same like you. Same like you, maybe some of you are not ordinary being. I'm so sorry. So, however, if you are like me, and we definitely try to cultivate good karma and try to purify negative karma. So I trust we all can do it. And then all of our merits and 3 times and 10 directions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas virtues bring together, and all sanghas merit bring together, and we dedicate for welfare all mother sentient beings. Chancho senjo renpo che ma che ba nam je jor je ba nyam ba me ba yang kone konde bevar sho.
May bodhicitta, the precious and supreme mind, arise in whom it has not yet arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time.